Hey everybody, Steve here, and welcome to the investor update for the end of November 2023. Again, that was a few days ago. Have some announcements first, and then we'll get on into the actual brief update, the share price, and give you a little peek behind the curtains as to kind of the way forward for 2024. But first, super excited to announce we're at all-time highs for the book. So when you think of it from a business perspective, that's not only your accounts that you already have with us now, either growing back to new highs there or almost new highs individually, but it's also the new clients and new money that we're bringing on as a firm. Again, we have, three other advisors in addition to myself. Two are very active. Jaden's a little bit busy, tied up with his college stuff. But certainly folks are bringing in, new clients and starting to grow that way. So really starting to hit our stride. Some improvements that we're making, though we spent really this past quarter, the strategic guidance for me, for the team, is to kind of look inward, right? We're working on our processes and our tech stack to be able to position for, the building's coming up in about a year, maybe 9 months, probably a year. We'll see. It shows up whenever it shows up. But certainly getting everything in place, ready to be able to, conduct a seminar or a marketing campaign where you onboard 20 clients. If 20 clients show up right now, we're now working 60, 80 hours a week trying to get everybody taken care of and stuff. It's kind of a nightmare almost. Where we're going is to get everything set up so now we can handle that sort of onboarding, that level of client load fairly easily. I call it kind of, it's a kind of a weird analogy, but it's almost like we're going through puberty now. We as a firm, and we kind of build it from scratch, and then we kind of don't know what we don't know, and now we know a lot of what we don't know, and we're starting to know exactly how the bigger firms do business, and we're taking those solutions and we're putting those in place. It's pretty expensive, so it's more than I really like paying, but it's really setting us up for the end state, if you will, to really be doing the best of breed as far as our technology going forward. So with that, what have you seen out there? If you've noticed, you've been receiving more emails from me, less videos from the daily content. I can't get there right now. I desperately want to get back to that, but I also have limited time myself. But our email campaign, as I approve these, we send them through our compliance function, and then they're scheduled out on a regular basis. These are for you to they're good information. A lot of it's financial planning stuff that I don't really talk about because I'm pretty heavy into the investments, but a lot of it is designed for you to kind of help your investment by forwarding it to a friend or family member, or, hey, these are the stuff, this is an example of the stuff that our folks send out. And it's good information. We don't necessarily know what's on the top of your mind, but sometimes, something will hit and you're like, I just talked to my friend about this, so I'm going to send this to him and say, hey, reach out and talk to these guys if you're interested. So it really provides you a mechanism to be more of take an active role as far as building a business. And again, we're trying to offer the maximum value that we can. So it's not like sneaky sales. It's like, no, we're adding value, a tremendous amount. Tell all your friends, sort of mentality. So I've gotten really good feedback on that. If you have comments or thoughts, concerns, please reach out to me direct, and we'll try to focus our marketing exactly how it should be. And this is kind of a baby campaign. This is like the first step. We're really in 2024. We're going to look at taking that to the next level. Secondly, new website. Let's show off a new website. This is still a draft, so there's a few things that are kind of funny here. One thing, I'm not getting away from the airplane. So even if you say, hey, you need to grow up and get away from the airplane, I'm not ready there. Not ready yet. Maybe someday, maybe not. I don't know. But you can see here's the landing page. I liked our old website. It was a template. I built this thing from scratch. I put, literally 1,000 hours into it. Jaden helped significantly, and some other folks to build into what it is. And that's still what's live right now. This is not live. This is the draft. I'm talking to our folks next week to put the final touches on this. Getting that more elegant, if you will, landing page, more like the Blackstones and the Fisher Investments and the big firms that are out there. But really kind of cleaning it up and getting it directly to the point. And it's really, here's your call to action right here. So if they never go past this, it's like, boom, okay, I like what I see, I'm in. What's the next step? And then all the standard stuff that flows down from there about services. We got the team photos for folks that are going to be helping you out, and then a quick 3-step process. The funny thing that I find about this is the team asked me sort of what guidance do you have, and I'm like, well, my background's in flying fighters, so let's kind of carry that theme throughout the website. Obviously, the logo already carries that theme. However, there are actually no U.S. Air Force planes. A Soviet plane. Have another Soviet plane. We got some Hornets. In here, you go to the contact page, and I think there's a F-18 sitting at the top. So shout out to the Navy out there. So we're going to try to clean this up with maybe some Air Force planes. But hey, if not, most people don't know the difference anyway. But that's where we're going with our website. I just want to share that with you. All right, let's get into the actual briefing. Oh, I wanted to clean up one last thing with the tech stack. If you've been listening to any of the Black Diamond stuff that I've talked about, we rolled that out about 5 months ago. It's more of a soft rollout of a, hey, if you're interested, here's how to, here's how to use it. Some people have embraced it, like 10 or less people, right? And some other folks checked it once. Some people just blew it off. It's here to stay, and we'll do a big rollout right in January of kind of sending out the login credentials again, because they do expire. Right. So if you have the old one, no, you don't have to search for it. You're going to need a new one, but we'll kind of do a rollout in January. We don't need to worry about it during the holidays, but to kind of show you, it's kind of a one-stop shop to where instead of you, logging into your Schwab account, you'll log into Black Diamond, and there you have access to all your Schwab accounts. You have access to your financial planning stuff. You have access to your risk scores that are there. It's all kind of just a big landing page for you. And I'll walk you through that when the time is right. And it also, there's a to-do list function in there, which we find, I'm always looking for operational efficiencies. And when I talk about what makes us different is like, well, we are very efficient. We're always looking for the best ways to do things to get stuff done very quickly. And there's a to-do list function built in. So if you think, you're on your phone and you have your little red circles for, to-do list stuff, or checking email or checking, TikTok or whatever your, apps you have on your phone, you'll have your Black Diamond app. Hopefully it gets to the front page, because it is your like net worth and financial life. But you'll have a little, get a notification on there. You can click on it. That's where you'll check your balances on a daily basis. It's where you can check performance. A lot of stuff that Schwab doesn't necessarily offer. It's just better. But as far as like hey, if I need you, or if I want to send out instead of sending you an email about, hey, it's the end of the year, I've done some tax loss harvesting, or hey, what's your plan for IRAs in January? Because that's one of our major themes. It's like, hey, are we going to contribute this year? Let's go ahead and take care of it now. I can send it through the app instead of through an email. Things can get lost, as through emails. But here it is. You have dedicated kind of a to-do list. And you can also put stuff in there too. I don't know exactly how that works, but you can push there's a functionality to be able to, if you need to request like $10,000 from your account right now, you send an email or a text, right, saying, hey, Steve, I need 10K by Thursday. And I'm like, got it. I'll free up the money. You can now send that through the app. There's a little request cash button. Because a lot of folks, the more advanced stages, they use their brokerage taxable account as kind of their bank account on steroids. There's a lot of cash moving back and forth, because I can get you, 4.5%, for your savings rate with me, where your bank's often not paying you that much. So anyhow, two-way conversation through the actual app. Everything's archived. So when I go to, prepare for your meeting, I'm not having to search through old emails and kind of get up to speed. It's all archived right there. And if we do send emails, that's also added to it. But the intent is to communicate directly through the app. More coming on that. Needless to say, I'm very excited about it. It's a little bit expensive, but it is how the elite firms operate. And we want to operate as an elite firm, even though we're still small, so we can grow right into that elite status. Okay, into the actual brief. You said we're at new highs. Obviously, that's going to lead to a new high in share price. Before we get started, again, standard disclosure applies. Everything here is based off my big Excel spreadsheet of my percentages and projected growth for 2.5% a quarter, all the way up through, the standard profitability in 2026. And then also, pegged to a 2.5 growth rate up to 2029, and then entire upside is yours at that point. If you ever have any questions about that, I should probably review that in January just to show you the math yet again. So, we don't need to go through the math every time, but that's what's going on. All right. Share price. What is it? Let's see. It is 105.38. So we did peak earlier in the year. If you look off to the right, at around that 108, almost 108, not quite 108. But then we kind of settled in that August, September, October timeframe. That was largely the market. We were still adding clients. However, If you look off to the big column on the left, again, so you did a screenshot from Excel. We started the year at 52. We're now at 72. So quick math, that's like 40% growth over the course of the year. And we've got a month left, right? And I will say we're already over 73 million. That could, that can evaporate in a day, with market normal market movement. However, we're still at new highs even after the new high I'm showing you here. But we finally got that 5% month again, even though the goal that I tell you is 2.5 a month, which is 30% a year for growth for your investment. I've outpaced that every year since I've been in business. I've been around that 50% level. Looks to be about mid 40s this year as far as growth. Numbers get bigger, that's obviously harder to do. However, if you stay efficient and more streamlined and keep moving up market, if you will, as far as who the folks you're targeting to bring on board, then it does scale. So I'm proud of the team for this year. I'm fully expecting the same or more growth next year as we get into more of the marketing side, because literally we're not doing really much to any marketing right now. It's all word of mouth. So really no proactive stance there, but that's changing. Okay, as far as the clients, we did lose a couple clients, pick up a couple, lose a couple. We are in the transition phase where I'm taking, this does not affect any of you. But as far as some of the other clients out there that for whatever reason, either I don't have a personal relationship with them, or it's due to account size or complexity of their financial situation. Anyhow, if the person's right, we're transitioning those clients over to Joel and David at this time. Jaden also has a couple, but obviously he's busy with school. But being able to, again, right size the organization to where I personally have less clients. Joel and David continue to work towards that full client load, whether it's transitioning clients that are already with me to them or them bringing on their own clients. It's a combination of both. All of that is working as advertised. It's not super fast right now, but this is the long game. So slow and steady wins the race, just like investing. So we did lose a couple along the way. That is going to happen. They were not major accounts, but we don't like you losing any accounts. But there's going to be more of that transition going. There's probably another 40 clients that really need to transition to Joel or David. And again, that'll be the target of the first quarter. We'll get through the holidays and then work on that in the next quarter. So that's kind of the background of what's going on. Other things to share with you. Here's the historical stock price. The only reason I really show this is here. Well, come back. Once I get it back up here, you can see 2022 was a terrible year and not cooperating. There we go. Okay. 2022 was a terrible year, but here it is displayed graphically, right? So there are going to be blips. And again, you're thinking not only your personal accounts, but your, for a book of business as far as wealth management. The blips are small and the runs are long is what I'm telling you. And overall, it's exponential. Because money makes money. That's our job. So primarily we pick the best investments out there and earn the best rate of return. That's just one piece of it. The rest of it is the earning your trust and faith to bring on more of your assets that you have either managed elsewhere or managed on your own under our management. And then there's also bringing on new clients. And then of course, the last one is some acquisition, which I'm learning about, but I'm not even really serious about until we get closer to having the building. There are some folks who are out there on many platforms where they're kind of like online exchanges. And I mentioned that I have this building and like the inbox on it blew up, right? Because a lot of folks are that solo advisor operating out of their house that want to tuck underneath somebody that actually has a building compliance mechanisms in place. So just realize the growth here is all organic. Real growth, if you will, is when you start acquiring other firms. Again, we're talking a couple million. We're not talking 10+ million, right? Because that's kind of where we're going. But yeah, so we'll see. It's out there. There's a lot to learn. So we're not moving fast. We're going to do it right. More, right. Doing it correctly is more important than doing it quickly. So, and that's been the motto from day one. So lots to learn, but more to go in the future. Okay, projected share price. There we go, all the way up through 2029. And I guess I need to change the slide because it's not projected share price; it's projected AUM. So again, 400 million is that magic number that your valuation is based off of. So I've said back when it's been a year and a half, 2 years now, when I kind of reached out and said, "Hey, invest in this great idea." And throughout by 2029, we're sitting at 400 million. We are on pace to do that. So okay, yeah, maybe just fractionally below that. But that gets us our $10 million valuation. And then after that, all the upside is to whatever we end up growing this to, which is exciting and also unknown. So I'm in no hurry to sell, as if some folks ask that. Advisor Stack, I told you, is here to stay. That is kind of the quarterback behind the scenes to get you, you will log into Black Diamond, which again is off to the side of the screen there, kind of gives you your gain, loss, performance, transactions, projected income, your Money Guide Pro, which is your financial plan, which you all have one, whether you've looked at it or not. All of that is presented to you. Advisor Stack is the quarterback behind the tech stack. And again, we pay them and then they cover everything else. So really pretty slick and very excited about all of it. And the goal, of course, as always, is to answer your questions before you ask them. Like, oh, hey, I wonder what's going on with, and then you log in, you check this out, and maybe you can get your answer there already. So we shall see. All right. Last thing, the building, been through permitting, so that it is happening, right? And it's happening in this form. So this floor plan in concept again is final, and again we'll just iteratively improve it along the way. But again, if you look at the left and the right are kind of standalone entrances and standalone offices. Again, that's for a legal team and an accounting team. That's a perfect world. In January 1st, I'm going to start building connections and seeing who I can find that wants to partner with this. I think I can do that. I don't, but I can't guarantee that, right? So, and that's going to take time. So I need to, to be able to focus on building some relationships and the trust to be able to bring people really into our family office building house, if you will, and then build relationships with them, because whoever whoever we decide upon also now becomes integral to, your experience as well. So you kind of if you hear the rule, I talked to a client Thursday about this, the no jerk rule. There's other versions of that that are a little spicier, but the no jerk rule is we don't want any jerk clients and we don't want jerk people that we work with. So like when you think of referring somebody, that's kind of the biggest. If they're, they may be very talented at what they do, but if they're a jerk, who needs that, right? None of us need that. We're pretty much all doing well enough to where you screen those people out, right? So these people are going to be part of your overall experience too. So it's critical that we get this right, or at least don't get it grossly wrong. Because there's perfection is kind of unachievable sometimes. But that's the two outsides. There will be standalone offices for now. We'll readdress that later once we know the people that are involved and what they're looking for and how we orchestrate the relationship. So what's important to you for, hey, I want to come visit Steve in the family office building and let's go over our stuff, is there's a reception area. You'll see the orange or tan or peach or flesh colored or whatever color that is going in through the right. So that'll be kind of the entrance, if you will. There will be a reception type of area out there where you'll be greeted, badged, and come on back. And at that point, come on back into the war room. The war room is where you can think you're going to have the big TVs. The big conference table is going to be in the war room. That's where we're going to conduct our meetings. As far as if we're having either a group meeting or a private meeting, it's going to take place in there. Unless there's a whole bunch of people, then we'll find another office. But that's also where we're going to conduct our classrooms. So one of my goals, if you see one of my goals off the left, is to have a TV wall. If you've seen those, you string the 12 or so TVs together where you can have separate things on each screen. For investing, that's when I was over at the command center in the Middle East, we had, not just Fox and CNN, but we had BBC, we had Al Jazeera, really kind of taking it more towards, a worldly approach. We largely invest based in the US right now, but we need to expand that a little bit to some international exposure. So anyhow, looking for a TV wall off the left, and there will be TVs across the front, hanging down from the ceiling. It will also have the standard, CNBC stock tickers, that sort of thing, going across. From the war room, we'll call it the war room, down in the executive lounge. You've heard about that already. We'll have it set up in there for a small group meetings, executive type meetings. More on that to follow. Off to the left of the war room is where you'll get into the heart of the command center for AnchorStar Wealth. So that's going to be where there's probably 4 desks set up or so in that command center area. That will be a private entrance for AnchorStar Wealth employees, and that's where we will, if you will, Candace won't necessarily need to be there every day because she can work from anywhere, but Jaden, myself, if any of the other advisors come into town, that's kind of where we're operating. That's our desks, if you will. So do everything kind of behind the scenes there, and then we'll come out into the war room and actually meet with clients. So anyhow, just thought you'd find that interesting. When we do have events, everything will come in and out through the reception. So as far as your privacy information and all of that stuff, which we're required to keep, will be down in the command center and again under double locks. Of course, at all times, and security camera setup. So no concerns there, but super excited. Just want to give you kind of the brief overview on that. And if you want to see the area, the property, again, if you go to where Sam Bass tees into 1431, there's a storage area place there. If you go north on the county road there up to just before you get to Williamson County Regional Park, just prior to that, or just past where New Hope Road is going through 4 lanes all the way through, that's under construction. There's an area across from, off to the right, if you will, I guess off to the east, if you will, across from the Doggy Day Drinkery area kind of thing. So anyhow, that's where the whole office park will go in. Again, we're kind of the prominent facing that entrance building of that office park, because we were the first ones to sign. So lock that in. But that's what stuff's going on. So if you get excited and want to drive by there and see what it is, right now, it's pre-foundation, if you will. So there's pipes sticking up and they're getting everything, the guts put underneath before they can put the foundations in. So exciting times. Just wanted to share that with you. Okay, that's all I've got for today. Again, reach out with any questions, concerns, updates, improvements. Always open for your feedback to see how we can do things better. And with that, we will talk to you guys next time. Bye.